So, if you watched our match day video, you heard me say that I was initially gonna go into something else, and we said that we would explain that in a later video. Well, the time has come. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, Dr. Doctor. I'm Sam.
I'm Devon.
And on this week's video, we're going to be talking about how we chose our different specialties and just answering a few questions about that. And we also will be making
Oxtail.
Yep, we're gonna be making oxtail. Disclaimer, this is not your Jamaican auntie's oxtail. This is just my personal quick fix oxtail that I normally make for
me. And guys, I love guys, I love oxtail, and she makes it for me like on special occasions, birthdays, potlucks, whenever, and it's always a big hit. So what are we gonna do first, babe?
Okay, so the first thing that you need to do, actually let's show them the ingredients first. So we actually bought this oxtail a couple days ago. If you hear meowing in the background, this is Juniper. Show Juniper. Juniper, say hello to YouTube, Junie. We're cat sitting for one of our friends, so that's the meowing you hear in the background. It's not the oxtail. So we bought the oxtail a couple of days ago, and you need to first clean your meat. You can clean it with vinegar, lemon water, but please clean your meat. Make sure when you go and buy your oxtail, you also ask them to trim the fat, because oxtail is very expensive and you don't want a part of the weight to be the fat, because you don't eat fat. These are the things that I use to season my oxtail. And I know for my true yardies, some of y'all are looking at this and it's like, what is this? Not your Jamaican auntie's oxtail. Make sure you get the spoon. My quick fix rendition. Some people make oxtail using a pressure cooker. I don't do that just because I don't know how to use it and I don't want it to blow up in my face. Bruh. So I just cook it in a pot. If your butcher trims the meat thin enough, it'll take about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So these are all the ingredients that you see I have here. I feel like the key to give oxtail the color that you know and love is browning. But one thing my mom told me is that if you use too much browning, it kind of makes the meat taste a little bit bitter. So another thing that you can use is soy sauce, because it gives it that color. The only thing I would say is make sure that you're tasting as you go, because soy sauce is salty. I guess you can get low sodium, but we already had this one. And then because I am Trinidadian, I will be, it's a little chops at the bottom here, but I will be adding my Matuska hot sauce, my Matuks hot sauce at the end to kind of give it a little bit, dang, are my lips chapped? To kind of give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and then of course, towards the end, it wouldn't be oxtail if we didn't have butter beans. You know, fun fact, I don't actually like oxtail.
She cooks this just for me, guys. She doesn't even eat this.
No.
So shout out to her for doing that.
That's why I got the ring. So this is what it looks like. So again, as you can see, let me get my little spoon. It is trimmed, not too much fat, and it is in thin slices. So I added all those seasonings that I just showed you guys, and I also added some onions and some scallions as well. And this has been marinating for about 2 days. So you're just gonna empty all of this into the pot with the oil. I think I'm gonna try to place it because I don't want it to spatter. And this literally will not even be that long. It's just gonna be like maybe 5 or so minutes. And it's just because you wanna get a nice little bit of a sear, on the outside of your oxtail.
All right, so you guys waited long enough. Let's start talking about why we chose what we want to go into. So we recently matched a couple days ago. Well, almost a month ago now. And she is going into
pediatrics. Woo!
And I'm going into orthopedic surgery. So tell the people of YouTube, why pediatrics? What is pediatrics?
So I think that's a good question. I think on this channel, we want to make sure to explain things because we don't really know our viewing population yet, and some people could be watching and not really familiar with all these terms that we're saying. Just a sidebar, you see how we got a little bit of color? That's all we want before we start searing it. But anyway, the field of pediatrics deals with doctors that take care of children. So it's newborns, it's infants, it's toddlers, all the way up until you turn 18. And sometimes even after. I've shadowed physicians that follow children until they go off to college. Not everybody goes off to college when they're 18. And then that's when they like transition to like a family medicine doctor or an adult provider. But yep, we deal with the babies. What are you going into, babe?
So, I'm going into orthopedic surgery, and it's a field where, you know, you fix broken bones. So if you have fractures, if you have ankle sprains, if you have broken elbows, broken femurs, anything broken when it comes to bones in the bodies, or arthritis, and you want to get a knee replacement, that's what we're going to be doing.
Sports medicine too, it deals a lot with like dancers and football players. When they break a bone,
yeah,
it's the orthopedic guy that stitches them back up.
How long is your training for pediatrics?
Ooh, that's a good question, because some specialties out here, neurosurgery, they train for like 8 years, which I mean, I guess, it's the brain, it's important. But no, the field of pediatrics is only 3 years. There are lots of different subspecialties that you can go into afterwards though. They require you to do this thing called fellowship, but your girl is not doing that. Gen Peds Clinic all the way, 3 years and done.
So I'm going to be training for 5 years, but specifically my program is going to be 6 years. So what do I mean? So 5 years is traditional for all surgery specialties besides neurosurgery and some others. But some programs have an additional research year that is in between their first and second year, or somewhere mixed into your 5 categorical years. So your first year, you're intern, you're kind of doing a mix of everything. Then towards your second and going up, you kind of more focus on orthopedic surgery. So she's gonna be done way before me, and she's gonna be making the big bucks, while I still get like the little bucks. Isn't that right, babe?
It is. I'm gonna bring home the bacon, non-pork bacon, because we don't eat pork today.
All right. So our next question.
When did you decide what you're going into? You can answer first this time.
I knew I wanted to be a doctor from high school. Fun fact, my senior thesis, yes, I had a senior thesis in high school.
He was smart. He was real smart.
So my senior thesis in high school, it was about how nanotechnology can impact neurosurgery in the future. I know, crazy stuff for somebody to be doing in high school, but that kind of got my first juices rolling for medicine, specifically neurosurgery. This is what I wanted to do in the beginning, but that's the second question. But I decided I wanted to do orthopedics probably, I would say, in college. Probably junior year, when I really fell in love with sports medicine. I wanted to take care of athletes. I wanted to be there on NFL sidelines and on the NBA court side, just seeing the athletes play and taking care of them if anything happens. I wanted to be that guy, so that's when I decided. What about you, babe? Oh, here you are.
I'm here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting some hot water, because like, if you know, oxtail is like a stewed kind of beef. So the water we're gonna let cook down to give us kind of that stew thing. But if you could show them the meat again, babe, so you can see it's gotten a little bit of color. It's not as pink as before. And then we're just gonna add the rest of the marinade, so all this goodness into it, like so. Okay. And then this warm water that I just told you guys about, make sure your meat is mostly covered. And so what you're gonna do now is you're gonna leave it and you're gonna let it boil down. And then after that, I'm gonna add another one of these of warm water and cover it and let it cook down, and just like keep doing that for the next 2 hours. This is a work of love. You're welcome. Until it looks like it's cooked, it'll start falling off the bone, and that'll be that. And then we'll add the butter beans at the end because we don't want them to get mushy. So my answer of when did I decide to go into pediatrics. So if you watched our match day video, you heard me say that I was initially gonna go into something else, and we said that we would explain that in a later video. Well, the time has come. Initially, literally like how he said, you know, growing up, he was very interested in sports medicine. So I was very interested in the field of obstetrics and gynecology. That's why I'm not going into it, because I can't say it. But no, all seriousness though. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a doctor for women. But you know, they do a lot more than deliver babies. I feel like that's when most people need them, meet them, when they get their babies delivered or when they need birth control. But they also do like surgeries for like cancers in the female reproductive tract. They do all of those. They do hysterectomies for like if you're just done having children. If you've gotten your tubes tied, probably it was a obstetrician that did that procedure. And they also kind of dabble in like reproductive medicine. So like if you get IVF and stuff like that, OB will probably be on the team that helps do that as well. So that's initially what I wanted to do. And it's crazy because like all my research, all my publications prior to coming to medical school was in that. And this is just a segue. If you happen to be a medical student watching this, don't let anybody discourage you from being what you truly want to be.
We're going to talk about that though, like discouragements in medical school. That's going to be a video.
No, it is.
You guys got to stay tuned for that one.
It is, because
real.
What happened was, and baby probably remembered this because after it happened, I came to him and told him, as you know, or if you haven't watched our videos before, I repeated my first year in medical school. So the director of OB-GYN here for students came to talk to one of the student groups I was in and told us, you know, like if you've had any, as I like to call, hiccups in medical school, repeating a year, failing a standardized exam, having to take time off, come talk to her and she will help you. So I went and I talked to her about, you know, I repeated a year and I'm interested in OB-GYN. And this lady basically told me that there is no way I could do OB-GYN. She basically pulled up a list of programs in America that take the lowest scores.
And this was before you even
This was before I even had any scores to show.
But anyways, get back to...
But yes, so that really discouraged me. So that was kind of on my radar. He did third year a year ahead of me, and so he did all of his rotations in the hospital before me. And when he did pediatrics, he was like, you're not gonna do OB, you're gonna do pediatrics, I call it. And I was like, what? Why are you writing me off? Then I did, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do pediatrics. OB, for one, I hate surgery. I do not like the OR. And
I don't know what's wrong with her. Surgery's the bomb, yeah.
And OB, you spend like a good % of your residency in there. C-sections, hysterectomy. So that wasn't for me. Also, I'm a very nice, bubbly person, and I feel like OBs are more like your boss or your like leader woman. Not that I can't be that, but
so you're not a leader.
My personality is be in the corner playing with a puppy or a 2-year-old. So I am where I need to be. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. It's been 2 hours. Woo. I don't know if y'all can see because of all the smoke, but this is what it's looking like. Can they even see? As you can see, it's gotten darker in color. It's cooked down. I said the meat would start falling off the bone. We're just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of browning. Again, don't OD with the browning now because it'll make it taste bitter. So we're just gonna pour until our ancestors tell us to stop. Okay, a little bit more. And that was probably about like a teaspoon of browning. You don't need a lot. And then the last step, I'm gonna let it probably steam for about 10 minutes after I add the butter beans. large butter beans. Okay? And then you're just gonna fold those in. And then we'll come back when he does the taste test.
Oh my God! Wow!
And now it's time for the taste test. Hopefully it's not nasty.
Really good.
Really good.
Good job, babe.
Thank you.
If you could do anything outside of medicine, what would you do?
You go first.
Ladies first.
You go first.
Fine. I would probably, what would I do?
Bro, you know what you would do.
What would I do?
You would do MBA, business, healthcare administration.
Oh, I would do like...
How do I know your answer?
She knows you so well. I would probably do something in investment banking / healthcare investing, somewhere in that realm. So I might still touch healthcare, but more so on the 100% business side.
My answer, I could do a lot of things. Your girl has a lot of side hustles. I'm flipping my seashell. I don't know if y'all can see. But anyway, I can do a lot of things. So I guess before I settled on med school, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So your girl is done with school, but I still think I could do something dealing with animals. I love animals. I love animals. So
Where's Juniper?
he's underneath the couch. He's annoyed with us. Something with like the ASPCA or animal advocacy. I also love cooking, so I can maybe like do a little side hustle cooking. I also love children, hence pediatrics. So I feel like I could teach maybe kindergarten or like preschoolers. What else could I do? There's a lot of things I could do besides medicine. A lot of things.
But here we are.
Here we are.
Black couple in medicine. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what's one of your favorite dishes. We might cook it in a different video. You never know, that could be cool.
And if you tried this oxtail recipe, tag us on Instagram.
Yeah,
Tag us so we can see how it came out. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
See you next week.
See you later. Bye.